Well, it's like they say, anything's a hammer unless it's a screwdriver, then it's a chisel. Unless you can weld, then anything's whatever you want it to be.
Oh, Sam one-upped us. That's the running joke in our company. What we're doing here is we had gotten rain, and we didn't get a little bit of rain. It rained and then it froze, and we had about a 1/4 inch of ice covering our blocks. So before we could even start back up on this big engineered retaining wall that we're working on, we gotta do this.
Takes time. We spent an hour getting the machine started this morning, and it was 14. Nothing.
I got hours scraping all these off.
Yep. So,
I'm having flashbacks to that first wall I did with you when I started. We had the brush burner out, and I was melting dirt.
But then the weather looks like it's going to be in the 40s coming up here. So,
yeah, it's going to be nice for the next couple of weeks.
Sit and twiddle our thumbs, or do we keep going? It's always a tough call to make sometimes, wrapping it up. Shut the front door, Allie.
Winter work, man. Winter work.
Winter wall work. Is that warm, Sam?
Yeah, it feels kind of nice.
You guys should watch this in 4K and on a big screen. If you can, man. That's where it's fun. 4K and on a big screen. What Tim was actually talking about is winter work. This is the end of the year, so we're actually going into December now. Just wrapping this project up. I think we wrapped it up just a few days ago, and I actually shot the wrap up for you just today. We've had nothing but problems on this job. We've had 2 soil corrections, frozen equipment, and a camera fry out. Can you guys believe that's a Packer was brand new? Oh, dirt freezes as well. So as we're working, we're battling the elements, but we've got to be conscious of the dirt that we're using as backfill, because if we know we've got frozen chunks, and if they're literally frozen, breaking those chunks up doesn't work.
Oh, this site is turning into a sloppy mud pit. Like, the corners are split half blocks, so you get the rough side on here and you get the rough side on the other side. So on this one, the split block is going this way. This next one, the split block is going this way, this way, this way, this way, this way, etc. So how we do them with the block going long ways like that, we'll have our full one, our split one on the corner, then we have to cut one to fit in between these two. And then on this side, we have to cut another one for in between these two, obviously. So then it probably doesn't help, it's frozen to the ground. Sketchy. There we go. Yeah, that 1,000-pound Packer, I would imagine it doesn't take too much to freeze that guy down.
Okay, so what I was saying is you can't compact the frost out of the ground. If you've got frozen chunks of dirt, the frozen chunks have to go. The regular chunks need to be broken up, but you got to make sure that they're not frozen, because no matter how much you pack frozen ground, it'll still settle on you later on. So we've got to be careful to differentiate what's frozen, what's thawed, what's good soil, what's bad soil. You see that pile behind him right now? That's all bad. This is where that grapple comes in so nice. God, look how bad that soil is. It's just...
Here's what we got done on our wall today.
That corner looks good.
Probably doesn't look like that much. We got a pretty decent amount of stuff done though. Okay, plan for tomorrow, right away. We're gonna start excavating out this area here so that we can continue getting base in. We're really hoping that we're gonna get lucky and not run into more of that really slimy, mucky clay through here. But if we do, that means we have to do a soil correction, and we're really hoping we don't have to mess around with that. But we will find out tomorrow. Working in the winter, got blocks frozen to the bottom of our blocks.
So this area we thought was going to be one of the worst spots of the wall actually turned out to be the best. This is the best base that we found. That corner was a pretty large soil correction. We ended up bridging the entire area with feet of rock layered with geogrid, and don't have much footage of it. Got a couple pictures of it that one of my guys snapped. My camera fried out. I had an entire one-hole camera. Broke. Sketchy. Hey GoPro, you know what? Do me a favor, don't make the GoPro 10 any better than the GoPro 7. Just make them work.
All right, we are done for the day. So plan for tomorrow, it's gonna keep basing in blocks along here. While one person is doing that, the rest of us are just gonna be following behind, building and backfilling. More of the same.
Hey guys, tonight's drink of choice is coconut Waterloo. Drink it if you don't like yourself, because it's not very good. I love coconut water, and I like grape Waterloo, which does not taste like cough syrup, somebody told me. When I said I love grape Waterloo, they're like, it tastes like cough syrup, you're selling out. And I'm like, no, I'm not, I love that stuff. And I love coconut. No, bad. Hey, look at the soil that we're using behind the wall right here. You can see the clear difference. So we've actually tarped, separated, and as we're digging the new wall, you'll see we're separating the soil. So we're literally looking at each scoop and going good, bad. And that's basically determined on how much water content is in it, how much organic material is in it, if we're getting gray, green clay in it, or if we're really what we're looking for is that nice brown, even, consistent dirt. And this is what, I mean, it takes a lot of time on these retaining walls because we're trying to conserve the backfill, trying to reuse it. You'll see us hauling load after load after load out of this site. I mean, and it's all extras to our customers, so we're trying to keep it down within as reasonable amount as possible.
Alright guys, you're gonna have to excuse my language on this, but like, our day just went to it's a freaking mess up in there, so we're gonna take that back one off next and have a look-see. These look fine over here, but we're gonna find out, and we're gonna do it together, guys. All right, guys, what we lucked out. We were able to get a hose. That big old dog right there. So we're gonna throw it in real quick, and Tim's on his way to get a whole bunch of hydraulic fluid, and we will get this sorted out.
One of the guys on the last video asked me, hey, Stan, how do you like that Daewoo? You've owned it for a few years now. What do you think of it? And I think I commented, this was before this happened, it leaks a lot and it's underpowered. Other than that, it's a great machine. The reason we use the Daewoo so much though, because we have a Kobelco excavator, and those are great machines. Those are great machines. Those are the ones we've got. We've got the 160 model, and so we've got a smaller frame on it. We've got a larger undercarriage, smaller body, larger motor. Great combination on them. We've ran the 200s, we've ran some of the bigger machines, and we just find that 32,000 pound category there seems to be kind of a sweet spot, but we can't use it here because it's got steel tracks and we didn't want to tear up the entire parking lot. So this is a top-down view. You can actually see that grapple, and so what the guys are doing is you'll see that they're grabbing dirt. Is it good? Goes in one spot. If it's not good, boom, it gets thrown in the other pile. That'd be nice if we could actually move that fast, wouldn't it?
Alright, so I have to cut a block to get our drain spout in for the drain towel. I'll show you guys how I do it, at least. I'm sure there's more ways to do it, but this is how I do it. What we do is I'll cut a 4-inch chunk off of the one block, and then we'll cut slots in for the outspout to sit in there. So I got my 4 inches marked. It's an inch shorter. The blocks are an inch shorter in the back, so that's a 4-inch measurement. That's a 3-inch measurement. That'll get you your straight line. Now, since these blocks have a rough face, I like to do the majority of the line off of the flat back. Even the backs aren't super flat, so you gotta kind of eyeball it a little bit.
What is that saying? The devil is in the details? I don't know what that means, actually. But what I do know is this is the slickest way to install drain tile, because it actually secures and locks the drain tile into the wall, and it just looks so polished. It just looks so polished, you guys. It takes a lot longer though. But once you see it finished, just that and how you place the cap. If the wall is here, I just like to place the cap just over the face. Oh, there it is.
I'll just put a screw in here to kind of hold everything together. And we've been having problems with this the couple rolls of grid that we got too. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it in the video, but there's chunks of it right there where, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it's like twice the thickness of what the grid is supposed to be, and it's just in like random little chunks. So we've been having to keep an eye out for that, and have been having to get rid of, not be able to use a decent amount of the grid, because you got a little spot like that and it will make your blocks teeter.
Yeah, always something you got to keep your eye open on. You know, you can't just go to work and turn your brain off. You got to look at that ASV spin. I don't think I've ever seen that machine spin. This is how bad the soil is out here. The caps, what I was saying is when you get the face of the wall, let's say this is the backfill here, I like to extend the cap just over, I call it giving it an eyelid. Let's flip it the other way. Walls here, you're holding the dirt up, this is open area. Eyelids this way, my fingers work better this way, right? Just a little bit of an overlook, a little overshadow. Your other option is to go flush. I don't like that look. And then you can set it back, and I don't know, setting it back reminds me of somebody that gets a bowl haircut just a tiny bit too short, you know what I mean? Like, let it grow a little bit. So I like to let them go over the face just a touch. I think it looks beautiful. I'll show you at the end of this video what it looks like, because that's the way we do our walls. Why did they not just bring the dump truck right over to the excavator? Why were they filling the bucket? Could have just jockeyed the truck over and put it right in there. That's how it happens.
Okay, so we have to cut or split some blocks for our outside 90-degree corner there.
Oh, this is another reason why I love these Versalock standard units. It's got that bevel. You see that bevel? We just split our own blocks. It takes less than a minute. Chisel, you got a half block. No special order or nothing. But you can't hardly get these things anymore. He's gonna show you the bevel.
Right, there you go. And this is right down, got that right down the middle too. You can see there's the bevel there, there's the bevel there. All right, so for this part of the corner, and this is all the way up on this side, we need to cut a couple of blocks, but instead of just cutting this, that's not gonna work. Because this corner, it's gonna be sitting on nothing, and technically that can create a seam if it was like this and that, which can turn into a weak point in your wall. So you don't want that. You want at least quarter bond on these blocks, which is 4 inches. It's gonna be a little different on here because it's split in how the corner is. So we're just gonna have it be 3.5 inches here. So we need to cut We're at 1.5 inches. We need to cut 2 inches off of this side, and then we need to cut one for in there. So it'll be 2 inches off there. It'll be a 9-inch cut. All right, so normally walls that are 4 feet and under don't need any geogrid. It's not required. You don't need it. But in this application, for the chunk of our wall that is going to be 4 feet, we are using it. We're putting it in. We're putting a full 6 feet in, because you gotta think, our little 4-foot chunk of wall is gonna have all of this behind it. That's a decent amount of weight, and put that grid in, it's just extra security.
So what I was saying, no in the beginning, is that rule doesn't actually apply to all retaining walls. If a retaining wall is 4 foot tall and it has a surcharge on it by a hill, it doesn't matter how tall that wall is. It could be 3 foot tall and you might need geogrid. This wall here is 4 foot tall and it's getting 2 rows of grid 6 foot each. Another form of surcharge is a building on top of it. And then another form of surcharge, which they don't even calculate for, is trees. Trees are what I call a dynamic load. A building creates a static load. A tree on top of it creates a dynamic load as the wind takes it, and as the tree grows up, the mass of it grows down, and as it grows down, if you've got the wall, it can actually literally push against it. So trees behind walls are the worst thing ever. Don't do it. So that whole, if it's 4 feet or under, you don't need geogrid, is not true. And the only reason I left it in is because a lot of landscapers think that's true, and it's not. But now you guys know. Surcharge, static load, dynamic load, all of those things will impact whether you need geogrid on your retaining wall, no matter how high it is. I put grid in on walls 2 foot tall. Not kidding.
We got this chunk of the wall built up.
Look at that drain tile.
5 more courses. It's all backfilled. There's 2 grid layers in there. We got the drain tile in.
All right, you guys. Well, we got the job wrapped up, and here's what we've got. Even through all the challenges we had, snow, rain, snow again, mud, cameras frying out, equipment didn't want to start, soil correction there, soil correction over there, and what we thought was going to be our biggest soil correction there turned out to be no soil correction at all. We finally got through it. One of those jobs where you just breathe a sigh of relief. We're done. Nice. We straw blanketed the slopes so that can be reestablished. Stapled that down. Unfortunately, you didn't get to see that simply because my camera fried out on me. I'm sorry about that, guys. But here we'll just take a quick peek how things turned out. Here's the big corner. You can see how they got that laid out. And then over here. Look at that drain tile too. And the caps. And that's our video, you guys. We got a lot more really cool stuff coming down the pipeline. I know that almost for sure, not 100% for sure. The reason I'm not 100% for sure is I'm actually going to go film it right now. So hopefully everything turns out pretty cool. I mean, I got to travel 500 miles to film this next couple of videos. So I'm crossing my fingers you guys like it. That's what we got for you today though, you guys. God bless. Go get them. Have a good one, and do me a favor, if you like these videos that I put together, hit the subscribe button and hit the share button. Tell your friends, but that subscribe button helps out. See you on the next one, you guys.